Hey everybody, it's Michael Bryson and Gregory Ulysse for This is Bodybuilding. Welcome back, Greg. How you doing?
Very good, very good. I like your shirt.
HBK, man.
You got
Hey,
it. I like
that's a
your shirt.
shameless plug for my new page on Instagram, MDB, Real Pro Wrestling. Everybody who likes pro wrestling, I hope you follow it. I'm having a lot of fun starting it out. I'm sure it'll be more fun as it goes along.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been kind of absent from the bodybuilding thing. It's weird to me. I feel like it was just the Olympia. I guess it's because it happened so late in the year, and now it's just the Arnold is here. I can't believe it.
Yeah, because because the two shows are so close by that the Olympia was like in December.
Yeah,
and now we're like in March. Like,
yeah. There's usually 6 months in between. This was like half that time. It was only 3 months.
3 months,
And
exactly.
It feels like yesterday. And that's the last. I think the last video I did with you was the review of that show. So wow, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I got to get back into it. But this show is going to be pretty exciting, I think.
You know what? It's for a first show of the year. It's a great way to start.
Oops, I lost you. Let's see if we can get Greg back. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, it started off like with the show early on when they were first announcing it. There was like, I think, there we go. Here he's back. 1 second. There he is. I lost you somehow.
Yeah, all done. Yeah. Can you hear me good? Yeah,
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody like fell on my phone. I don't know why. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, we were saying about how like the show when it started off,
it was not good.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, I think them raising the prize money from 200,000, which was higher. I think it was 130,000 for the winner for the past several decades. I mean, as long as I think the show's been around. And then finally last year they raised it to 200,000. But this year, once they changed it to 300,000 for the winner, we had some big names jumping into the show.
Finally, yeah. And you know what? And it's the money.
Yeah.
It's the money. But there were some guys that were on the fence. They do it, and then when that money came out, they just jumped in. But I do believe that some guys who were preparing for that show and were like just in. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, $300,000 is a whole lot to win, and there's a number of guys in this show who have a good chance of winning. I mean, it's obviously only one person can win, but I would say about half of these guys. There's 10 guys in the show in the men's open bodybuilding show, and there's probably 5 names here who, if they won, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, you're right. I mean, half of that field. You know what? We almost have an Olympia field. It is an Olympia field.
Yeah, there's a lot of the top guys from the Olympia are in the show, except for the winner and second place, I think. Right, third place is in the show. That's Nick Walker. Fourth and fifth, wait, fourth was
Rami's there.
Rami, and he's doing the show. Fifth was
Nick was third.
Samson? Who? I'm sorry.
Samson was sixth. Samson was sixth. Rami was fifth.
So what was the top 5? Refresh my memory.
The top 5. Okay, so it was Heidi first, Derek second.
Yeah.
With Nick third. What's his name? Brendan fourth.
Oh, Brandon Curry. I totally forgot about Brandon Curry. That's who was skipping my mind.
Yeah, Brendan.
I don't know why that skipped my mind. I would have thought Brendan would have done this show. He won last year. Maybe he does. It probably was smart for him to take a break.
Yeah, you know what I think? Probably, he's been in Kuwait for so long.
Yeah.
Probably coming back to something. Yeah, probably that. Probably.
Yeah, and it was only 3 months difference. Probably best for him to take the break. Yeah. let's just say the names in the Arnold Classic, and we can go from there where what we think is going to happen. 1 through 10, and this is just how they're listed on the list. Justin Rodriguez from New York, Big Ramy from Egypt, Patrick Moore from Texas, Andrew Jack from Nigeria, Samson Dauda from the United Kingdom, Big Akeem Williams from New Jersey, my man William Bonek from the Netherlands, Nick Walker from Nevada, Kamal El-Garni, who now lives in Florida. Where's he from originally? Is he Egyptian?
No, Lebanon. I think Lebanon.
Yes, right, of course. And then Sean Clarita, the reigning 212 Mr. Olympia from New Jersey. He rounds out the top 10. That's interesting to see two of the top 212 guys in the world are doing the show. And I'm really, really interested to see how they place, especially Sean.
I do too. Same thing. I mean, you know what? Sean makes shows interesting. Every time he does an open show, the show becomes interesting because it's the what if.
Right.
And you know what? And I gotta give Sean credit because Sean is a ballsy guy. To go into that show like that with all these guys in, because I told people he has nothing to lose. Nothing.
No. Yes, I agree with you. No. I mean, if he places 5th or 6th in the show, he's still the top 212 guy in the world. This isn't really his division. Yeah. And he's going against some really, really big dudes like Big Ramy, Andrew Jack, Samson. They're big guys. Nick is big, for his height. He's thick.
Yeah.
William Bonek is stacked with muscle. I mean, if he places 6th, it's not a loss. But there's that possibility he could shock people in the show.
And you know what? I was telling people all the time, nobody comes out of 100%. And Sean is always 100%. Sean will do what Dexter has done all this time. Some guys are going to be off, go off them. And you know what? In my mind, I don't see Sean finishing 6th.
No, I don't either.
No, I don't. I see him up there. And probably, you know what? Because people always say, oh, he's short. Basically, you know what? His only shortcoming is that he's short.
Right.
But if you look at him by himself, what weak points does he have?
Right. Not much. Nothing. I mean, he's pretty flawless.
Nothing.
He's like, a Flex Wheeler, but he always comes in shape.
And shit, there you go. And I give one better, okay? I tell people, if we put him like in a back double bicep, who beats him? Besides maybe Nick or Bonek? Nobody.
Yeah.
See? Nobody. So you know what? I mean, people are gonna be saying, you know what, is the size? Yes, I understand. But Sean is an anomaly. I'm telling you, if Sean finishes anywhere over 5, it's a win.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think he will. I think he will. He won a pro show last year, but of course it wasn't against the top guys in the world like this show is.
Yeah, for sure.
But I still think he can do well. Some of these guys, it's an interesting question. If Big Ramy were to show up looking like he did at the Olympia, I think he's going to be a little better. But if he shows up looking like he did at the Olympia, and Sean shows up looking like he did at the Olympia, who wins that show? I would think Sean.
To me, yeah. Because know what? And on the Ramy topic now, Ramy is doing stem cells and all that, and they're saying that his legs are better, that his back is 20%. From his camp, they don't seem too confident of him winning. They're looking at the Olympia for him, probably for all these treatments to be better. So I don't see Ramy winning. Probably Ramy going in there to try to be better than he was at the Olympia.
Yeah, I mean,
That's my
to me, I don't know how. I mean, stem cell stuff, and I mean that's great. It probably will make a difference, but in this amount of time, I don't know if it's going to do stuff like
I don't think
replace the
so.
muscles that were gone. Like
I don't think so.
he was missing half a calf. His lower back was gone, triceps, and that wasn't just that he wasn't full. I don't think, you know.
No, it's
So
not funny.
I don't know
No,
if
it
all
wasn't.
those things can get fixed this fast or ever to the point where it would have to be to beat some of these guys, in my opinion.
And you know what? Remember Ronnie. Remember Dorian.
Yeah.
When they start getting those, it doesn't come back. I mean, Ronnie tried. Ronnie from 2005 was starting to show like sinks in the armor.
Yeah.
2006 he lost. 2007 he got fourth.
Yeah. And he probably
He went
didn't
down.
deserve that. He just
No,
looked like a, from 2007 was a different person. It was
the same guy. No, not the same person. No. And you know what? Stem cells takes a long time. It's a long time to work. It's not magic. So I don't know. So you know what? And you know what? I'm not a Rami hater at all. I love Rami. I saw Rami win in 2013 in New York and 2014. Great guy, but I don't know. At this point in time, it's not a fullness issue. If he comes in better than he did at Olympia, it's a win for him too. But I do not see him winning the show.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, you know, it's possible we can be surprised. He is a Mr. Olympia 2 times, and he's won big shows. But like you said, his body isn't what it was back then, and I don't think a couple months of stem cell, while still training at a high level, not really giving the body recuperative time. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. But I'm not a scientist, and I'm not there, so I don't know. But I don't think it's going to make much of a difference in this time. I think if he waited a year, maybe there would be some difference, but I don't think a couple months of it. And again, while still training at such a high intense level, I don't think it gives the body a chance to properly recuperate. But that's just me.
Exactly. Yeah, no, sorry.
So what do you think about Justin Rodriguez? What do you think? I'll start. We'll just go. We can go through this since there's only 10 guys. We can talk about all.
Go. Yeah, go. You know, Justin, we never know about Justin.
Yeah.
Because last year at the Arnold, when he came out on Friday, he looked amazing. And then at nighttime, it self-destruct.
Yeah.
So we don't know. But that guy has the potential to do very well. Is he tired? We don't know. But you know what? He has the potential to do very well. Is he a top 5 finisher? That lineup is too stacked, but he can do damage for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. He's got some impressive shots. His front and back double biceps, very impressive. But yeah, I don't know. This group is, you know, you got some of the best in the world here. He could place top 6, but
Yeah, he could. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Next on the list is Big Ramy. We spoke about him. I mean, it's possible things could go. I mean, if he shows up really sharp and other guys show up really off, which I don't think is going to happen, he could win it. It's possible, but I'm thinking probably.
What I'm thinking. Remember in 2020 when he got third at the Arnold and won the Olympia later on that year? Probably, I think Ramy is probably a long-term project. Probably they put him there to get his confidence back and then shut down for the Olympia. That to me would be the only reason why he's on the show, just to redeem himself for what he done.
And maybe just to see, is it possible for him to be? Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. That's it.
I mean, yeah, like you say, he's qualified for life for the Olympia. He doesn't need to do the show. I don't think he needs $300,000 like I do, but you know, he's a wealthy guy, and I don't think he's doing it for the money. He's doing it for something else. And
yeah, for sure, 100%.
It's possible he could win the show, but I'm going to say I don't think he's going to place higher than at best 3rd.
You know what? I'm on that part too. Yeah.
Next on the list is Patrick Moore. Very aesthetic guy, beautiful physique. Little on the smaller side in the past. I don't know what he's going to look like this time because we haven't seen him for a while.
I've seen a picture of him. Like his upper body is good, but the one thing I never like when guys do not show their lower body. I remember he got an injury to his Achilles heel, so probably he couldn't train legs for a long time. His upper body looks big, but it's going to be lower body. Will it match up? I don't know. And I think for him to have picked this show for a comeback is something.
Yeah, it's a tall order.
It's a order.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that he's super confident, or I don't know. I know Patrick somewhat. I haven't spoken to him in a long time. He's a smart guy. Seems to be smart, and like I said, I think he's got a beautiful, beautiful physique. It all depends how he shows up. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be hard for him to place in that top first call out, I think. But he could shock us. I don't know.
It's hard. You know why? You know what? Because you pick a show where the elite of the Olympia is there, and you haven't competed in about 2 years. So I wish him good luck. I mean, to me, if he looks better than he did, it's a win for him. Because I don't think, even though we all think about winning, probably again for him, it's a long-term thing. So he's gonna start the season with the Arnold and go from there and see how it is.
Yeah. Next on the list is Big Andrew Jacked.
Andrew. I've seen the videos of him in Psycho Fitness training.
Yeah.
They are Psycho is beating him in the gym. I mean, he trains like there's no tomorrow. And from what they're saying, it's the first time he actually trained like a bodybuilder. Andrew, to me, is somebody that has all the tools to win the Olympia at one point.
Yeah.
Okay? And not only the Arnold, the Olympia. Okay?
Yeah.
So my question is this. I think it will be better than the Olympia. That's because now he's with Chris Aceto now. They have the same team that Sean had when Sean won the Olympia.
Yeah.
Same thing. So I'm guessing they're gonna do a great job together.
So I saw Andrew win in Texas. I sat right behind the judges, and his physique is really special. It's like one of these, he's a freak. Amazing size and aesthetics for a guy his size. The only thing that he was lacking, hamstrings, glutes, in terms of the glutes being shredded. Hamstrings were lacking in shreddedness and also in size. In my opinion, he needs more hamstrings.
Yeah, exactly, and a bit more back too there, from back.
Yeah. But now with guys like Psycho and Chris, I mean, we could see a completely different Andrew Jacked. We could see a shredded Andrew Jacked, and if that's the case, he could literally win this show.
You know what? I would say, okay, you know what? If he comes in, because I saw what they did with Sean Roden, and I would say Andrew's genetics, even Sean were great, is a tad even better.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. He's bigger,
he has all his body parts are all there. Sean was missing some things. Beautiful aesthetics, beautiful structure, but this guy is
not missing anything.
And 6'2".
No, you know what? Oh yeah. I mean, you know what? Honest to God, if he comes in really, really sharp, it's a headache for everybody.
He could win the show and go on and win the Olympics. Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Possible. Yeah. No doubt.
I mean, to me, I think when it comes to coaches, people have different opinions of everything. Like, and this is nothing about personal things at all. But I think that when it comes to coaches, I think Chris Aceto, he's about as good as it gets, and his track record speaks for itself. with
Yeah,
Mr.
you're right.
Olympus,
Yeah, you're right.
and with other top titles that his guys have won. And Psycho, no matter what you think of him or I think of him or his track record speaks for itself. And when they have a guy with that type of genetic talent that they're working with, they got a deadly weapon that they could take to the top very easily, I think.
You're right. You're right about Chris. I mean, people don't realize Chris has been coaching people from the 90s. So of all the coaches, probably the oldest one. So that if there's someone that knows about body, that's him. And he worked with everybody. And as you said, he has Olympia people and all that. And Chris, and I'm happy for Andrew because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
with a team that does care,
Right.
and I want to make him. They want to make him better. And that's why
Right.
I'm saying again, with him, if he shows promise at the Arnold, what is he going to look like in the Olympia in
Yeah, I mean,
November?
we think about they only had a few months working with him, or however long they've been working with him
Yeah.
by the Olympia. Wow. Yeah.
In November.
Yeah, I mean, that's exciting to me. That I'm excited to see what he's going to look like, especially when he turns around. That's what's going to be for me. Like, I really want to see that.
Because you know what? The one thing I can say about the show, even though only the winner gets the qualification, other guys are going to win shows during the year. Andrew's going to win something during the year. All these guys are going to win something during the year, 100%.
Yeah.
So we're all going to get the Olympia. I mean, Andrew's going to win something. Samson, whatever, we're going to say something like later on. But all these guys will end up at the Olympia somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're going to end up with a good paycheck. I'm sure the top 3 or 4.
Oh, for sure.
Decent money.
For sure.
After Andrew, another guy who's got to be considered one of the favorites, in my opinion, Samson.
Samson. Samson to me was one of the stars of the Olympia last year.
I agree.
Oh my God. When Samson came out, I was like, oh my God. Because I never saw Samson competed. First time I see him, and he looked amazing. But to me, what really sealed it for me, when he stood next to Rami. When he stood next to Rami, Big Rami wasn't that Big Rami anymore. Because he had somebody beside him about the same size with better aesthetics. I didn't better say.
He's got great size and aesthetics. I actually had him placing better last year. I would have had him 4th last year. At the Olympia itself, Samson. Yeah. I thought he just phenomenal. I mean, I was just watching it on a big screen TV. I wasn't there, but to me, he ticks all the boxes with size and aesthetics, balance, flow. Everything is there with Samson. Next level conditioning is going to be what's going to take him to that next level in placings, I think. And it's very, very possible that he's another guy. He could win this show. He really can.
And you know what? I don't know if you've seen the updates. He looks better now than that Olympia.
That's
all. He looks better now. Yeah. He looks better now. So you know what? With his size and aesthetics, this show could be something really special for him. Very, very special. Yeah. Because I mean, this guy has been on an upward trajectory ever since last year. Because remember, we saw him last year at the Arnold last year, and from there, we're already saying that he had great potential. From there, he did Boston, then the Olympia. He's just going on his way up now, which is great.
He works with Milos, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a great guy too in terms of his track record and his aesthetics. He's going to keep him aesthetically pleasing. That's just going to blow up to some giant. Sure. He already is gigantic enough. Yeah, I mean, I can see. I really want to see him, Andrew, and Mamdoa next to each other. It's just going to be. That should be really interesting to see those guys.
But you know what? Just saying that before we go on there, what I want to see, and I told that to Giles Thomas and another play. And I told him I want to see Sean in between Andrew and Samson. I mean, the two twin towers against the little guy. I want to see that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
That's the move will be. I want to see that. The two 6-footers against a 5'2" guy.
Yeah. Yeah, they're literally they're literally a foot taller than him. I think they're 6'1", 6'2", and he's 5'2". So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see those guys next to each other. And that call out could very well be.
Oh my God. I mean, you know what? The people will love it.
Yeah.
To see those two. Oh yeah, for sure. 100%.
Now, another guy that's on this list who we've been saying forever is just a gigantic ball of potential. He hinted at it 2 years ago at the Olympia, what his potential could be, but he has not lived up to that point quite yet, I don't think, although he had a few good showings when he was working with Justin Miller. Big Akeem Williams.
Yes, yes. And supposedly he's working with somebody right now, like a new coach, but someone we know. He hasn't said anything yet, but someone we know. But again, Akeem is someone, again, another guy that if he nails it, that guy could win that show too. Because he was 2 years ago, he was a 6th place Olympian.
Yeah.
6th place. And people will talk about him going against Rami.
I know. I mean, if he shows up with the same amount of conditioning or better, he in some ways he's more complete than Rami now. Yeah, I mean, for me, with him, it's the back thickness, the thickness of the skin in the back, lower back especially. That's something that needs to improve on him. But he's got all the muscle groups there. His arms and legs are phenomenal. His side chest shot is crazy because he has those lines in his side leg that are reminiscent of Rami when Rami's at his best.
From the side, he's amazing. Bro, can we stop for 2 seconds? I got a phone call real fast to make. 2 seconds, and we come back.
Yeah, then pause it.
Okay, right. Okay, pause. Right.
Okay.
Folks, okay.
Okay, hopefully hopefully this is one continuous playthrough. I've never paused it.
Akeem.
Let's see. Akeem. Yeah, Akeem is one of those guys. He's got all the tools. If he comes in shredded, you just don't know. I mean, he's one of those guys who could win it, or he could be 5th or 6th or 8th or 9th. You don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because you know what, with Akeem, I think Akeem got 15th at the Olympia last year.
Yeah,
he got 15th. So you know what? I mean, I don't know why he couldn't do well. It's only a matter of him nailing it, and that's the thing. But you know what? It's a stacked lineup.
It's stacked.
But he has the tools to make it. Yeah, to me.
And lots of times too, if in shows like this, let's say he shows improvement, but other guys don't. That judges often reward that type of thing greatly. Even if it's close between people, they can jump ahead. Yeah. They want to see people making advances and improvements in their physiques over the course of years. And Akeem has been at it now for a while. And you know, like 2 years ago at the Olympia, it looked like he was going to make that jump to the next level.
Yeah.
And I think he was on the, I don't know, man. I don't know who's coaching him now. You seem to know.
That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't said anything yet, but he's supposed to say, but he hasn't said nothing.
Okay. Because Justin, you know, I thought Justin brought him in pretty good for a couple shows, and he won both shows with him. But I don't know.
Me too.
Next on the list, I don't think I skipped anybody. It's William Bonac.
Yeah. Oh, William. You know what, William? Okay, William at the Olympia last year wasn't William, and for people thinking that he's finished, he's not. Probably last year was just they miscalculated things, so it didn't come full enough or whatever. Because people have very short attention span.
Really?
Last year, to me, he beat Brendan.
Me too. Yeah.
Okay. The week after that, he destroyed Boston. You know?
Yeah.
And people are writing him off because of one show.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm telling you, if William always does great at the Arnold.
He does.
Always.
He's won 2. I think he could have won 4 You know,
There you go. Yeah.
I honestly, if I had to, if someone pointed a gun at me and said, you must pick one of these guys to win this show, I'm just going to say, I think I would pick William Bonac, because I think he's going to come in like he did last year at the Arnold, with slightly better, with better stomach control, which I didn't even think was all that bad last year. And without the gyno, which I didn't even think was all that bad in terms of, I've seen way worse cases of gyno, and those people still win shows. I think that was, this is me, I don't know anything, but to me that seemed like politics. I think he deserved to win that show, hands down. And if he comes in like that, without the gyno, with slightly better abdominal control, they will have nothing to point to say he doesn't deserve to win the show.
Yeah,
Pictures that I've seen of him recently, he looks full, hard, and crazy. And I mean, he's got all the tools to win the show.
I mean, William hasn't shown anything of weaknesses until like last year at the show at the Olympia. But if he comes in the way he can come in, to me, he can win that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I don't think I can pick a person who definitely will win the show, because there's so many guys who are excellent that are in the show, and who it's all going to depend on who nails it, who doesn't nail it, and how they are that days.
And to me, yeah. To me, it's the same thing. And William, as we said, William's track record at the Arnold is a very, very, very good one.
Mhm.
As you said, 4 times he went, and the 4 times he always looked good.
And if he wins this one, I'll be so happy, because I mean that's a good. I mean, 300K is whoever wins this show is winning more than what Mr. Olympia won until just a few years ago. So
yeah, and you know what? I think it's bragging rights, and it gives you a lot of momentum for the Olympia.
Yeah.
So now you're the Arnold Classic champion.
Next on the list, Nick Walker. One-time a champion of. He won this show 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay, on paper, Nick is the odds-on favorite to win because he got the highest placing at Olympia, 3rd place. And Nick, a lot of people, are not against Nick, but don't like his physique or whatever. Myself, I am not a fan of this physique, but I am a fan of someone that is willing and able to change and always come in shape every show. I mean, with him, it's almost guaranteed he's going to be in shape.
Yeah.
And you know what? He has ginormous arms, and he's huge, he's in shape, he's big, he's young, and he has that confidence that, you know what? That he can do whatever he says he can do. And that's what he is. I mean, you know what? And people can blame him based on his legs or whatever. But you know what? He works on things that he needs to work on. Last year at the Olympia, people were saying he does not pose. He had a decent posing routine.
He did.
Good. He posed good. No. He posed good. So I'm telling you so. And that's one of the guys that I know that wanted to do that show. Because 2 years ago, one of the reasons why him and Matt were like having little beef there because he wanted to do the show and Matt said no. And now he's doing the show now. And you know what? Him winning would not surprise me at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go, I would go, yeah, normal.
I agree with you 100%. And I know I just said if you pointed a gun at me, I would pick, and I had to pick someone, I would pick William, but Nick is another guy who definitely has a super chance of winning the show. And like you said, so my thing about Nick, people talk about the aesthetics not being there or whatever of his physique, and some people aren't fans of it. As a bodybuilding fan myself, anyone who's never been a bodybuilder, but just has loved the sport and loved all the different types of physiques that you see, I love his physique. I think he's a freak of nature that just looks like the Incredible Hulk and blows my mind. I like those physiques. I also like the beautiful physiques, you know. But I mean, you know, back in '93, I loved Flex Wheeler, but I thought Dorian looked better, and he didn't look as pretty. He was just a monster. Now, he had probably better aesthetics than Nick, but Nick works on his aesthetics. Nick is conscious of controlling his midsection. He's controlled his waist. He's kept his waist as small as he can, and you know, he hears what critics say, takes it, weighs it out, and he and Matt work on these things, and I think he's a great bodybuilder who not only can he win the show, but he can win the Olympia.
Yeah, you know what? Yes. You know what? And 2 years ago, I would have said no, but if you ask me now, can Nick Walker win the Olympia? I say yes, he can.
Yeah, I mean, he looked amazing last year, and I don't think he's going to get worse. I think he's someone who's very conscious of those things, to not let certain things get blown out, like his midsection. And he's got, you know, when he's flexing his abs are nuts.
Bro, the way he sits on his abs, because rarely do you have guys who are able to pull a front double while sitting on their abs.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, he looks great.
Because he's got great abs, and he's also got freaking great arms.
Humongous arms.
Yeah, he's a monster. I mean, I love physiques like that. Like, you know, to go back to my bodybuilding page, I've been asking people on I'm doing polls in my stories about the best physiques in pro wrestling, because eventually I'm going to be doing I'm going to do a list of like who I think are the top 10 or 15 or 20 physiques in pro wrestling history. And it's interesting because some of the people that I'm seeing people not like the Warlord didn't get a very good high voted, but like, to me as a fan, like the Warlord's physique was like, what? Like that's the type of thing I'd rather see. Like, to me, he was way more impressive than, say, Rick Rude, who was shredded
10 times over.
You know,
10 times over. Oh yeah.
So I've always liked. Yeah, I've loved the freaks in bodybuilding and in wrestling. So,
God, Warlord was unbelievable.
Yeah, to me, Nick Walker's physique, I love that there's physiques like that out there. That the sport isn't just all prettiness. There's got to be Hercules amongst the Apollos. You know what I mean? There's got to be that. And I love it. So I think he's great. He's always in condition. Things keep improving. His back double will eventually, once it gets thicker and thicker and thicker, he's going to have like a Phil Heath level almost back double bicep.
And that's something. And that's something.
I think so. I mean, he's just got, I don't know, he's got it all. It's the arms too, man, are just
the arms, boy. See, you know, when I realized, when you got big arms, you can get away with so much things. With big arms.
It's a good tool, a good weapon to have.
Oh, it's an amazing weapon. Amazing. You know what? Because if you have big arms, I mean, the front double looks nuts. Side chest looks nuts. Oh, yeah. Unreal.
Next on the list, now we're going down to the littler guys. Kamal, a former 212 Mr. Olympia. He's won. Did he win an open show last year, or he just did really well?
He did well. He got second to Akeem. Well, actually, I think he should have won.
It was close. Anyway. It was close contest. Very different physiques. I don't know that he's got what it takes to beat some of these big guys when they are at their best. He's not. To me, his physique isn't okay. Now he's not aesthetically perfect. And nor is he a mass monster, but what he doesn't really have too many weaknesses, and he comes in great condition. But his physique isn't a wowing one that could, in my opinion, beat like an Andrew Jack or a Samson, if they're at their best, or a Nick.
No, you know what? And I agree with you on that 100%. Because you know what? Remember, he got fourth, I think, in Texas. He got fourth.
Yes, he looked great.
Okay, good. He looked great in Texas. No, but remember, he got fourth after Kuplo, after Andrew, and Martin. Probably, I think Martin got him. There you go, Martin. So that's the thing with Kamal. Now he's against guys that are genetically better than him.
Yeah.
And a lot better than him.
Bonek in there, William Bonek.
Yeah. It wasn't, and thickly muscle too. So for him, you know what? That's where he's gonna have a hard time. You know what? He's gonna look amazing, but his 100% will not be enough to crack these guys.
Right.
Who are so genetically better.
He's probably like an inch or so shorter than William. He's a little shorter, but it's not too much shorter. But if you think of those two guys, if you took their best, each of them at their best, William just blows them away with muscle bellies and.
Bro, it's not even a question. No. Yeah. Not the same, but I mean, and no disrespect to Kamal because he looks amazing. No. I mean, he makes
great. The most of what he has always.
Exactly. But the thing is, when these guys do the most what they have, they're champions. Like if you look like William and all that, I just said William and him are about the same height, but the sheer thickness and the sheer volume is not the same at all.
Yeah, I agree. Next and last on this list is Sean Clarita, Mr. Olympia 12, reigning two-time champion, and I mean, to me, he may be the best 212 bodybuilder
Okay. You know what? I'm not gonna go there first because Flex Lewis is the man still. Okay.
Yeah, they're apples and oranges anyway.
Apples and oranges. Okay. But here's the thing with Sean. Every time Sean does an open show, the show becomes what the thing. Every time. Because it's always the what if. And you know what? The thing is, now Sean is getting more respect from the open guys. Because they realize now that this guy, even though he's the smallest, what he has is very rare.
Yeah.
And as we know, and we've all said the same thing. And that's a great compliment. If he was 5'8", that guy would be Mr. Olympia today.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
No doubt.
People were talking, this is going to be very, very interesting because, last year at the Olympia, after the Olympia, a lot of people on my page and elsewhere were saying things like, if he could been, if they posed down him and Mr. Olympia, Hottie, that maybe he could have won. That's a big what if. You don't know. But now you're going to see him next to the guy who placed third in the Olympia. You're going to see him next to fourth and fifth, and it's going to be very, very interesting. This is going to really give people an idea of what Sean is capable of, in a real world scenario against the top open bodybuilders.
And you know what I like too? The thing I like is that, he's going to win a lot of shots against these guys. Because, people are always about getting ring up the 212 and whatever, okay? If you put Kamal against a lot of these guys, Kamal will probably not win all shots. But Sean will. Sean will beat a lot of these guys on back double, on condition and all that.
Yeah.
The only thing is, yes, he's short. What can you do about it? Nothing. Yes, he's smaller, but remember, for his frame, he is as tall as you can get.
Yeah.
And that's the thing also.
Yeah, I think that they need to, if I were in his camp, I would suggest coming in very much like he did at the Olympia, not worrying about too much of adding size so that he does have his abs, his stomach in check, so he's not. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of time between the Olympia and this show for them to have made quality gains. I think in terms of size, I would just come in as sharp as possible and with his portion.
And you're right on that. And I'll give you one better. He won Legion at a lighter body weight than he won the Olympia.
Right. Yes. Right.
So basically, the weight doesn't matter.
It doesn't, because his proportions are perfect, in my opinion.
They're all there. I mean, I'm telling you, to me, it looks like the trophy that they gave at the show. It's a trophy. And if you look at him, there's no weaknesses. There's nothing. And the only thing is, and you know what? We're going to see him against the other guys, the bigger guys. You know what? And to me, Sean, when I talk about that, Sean, is someone that nobody saw him at this place in time in his career. Nobody would have said that in 5 years from now, Sean would be fighting open guys and being the top to win the Arnold of all things.
Right.
And I do believe in my mind, if Sean makes a top 5, or let's dream a top 3, to me, it's a bigger win than the Olympia that he won in 212.
Yes, I agree with you. If he knocks off the guys who are in the top 6 of the Mr. Olympia,
it's a bigger win.
Yeah. Okay, so pick a top 6 for this show. It doesn't have to be in order. You don't have to do it in order. Just the names.
Perfect. Okay, names. Okay, I got Nick, Rami, Samson, Sean, Bonac, Akeem.
Akeem over Andrew?
No, I got Andrew in. I'll repeat.
Okay.
Andrew, Nick, Akeem, Sean, Bonac, and Samson.
Okay. I'm gonna say Rami. I'm looking at the order of the list, so this isn't the order I put them in, but Rami, Andrew, Samson, William, Nick, and Sean.
Yeah. Get the same. Yeah.
I think it's hard to go beyond that, like in terms of narrowing it down, because it's really gonna come down to who shows up how, in my opinion.
Yeah, to me, it's the same thing. To me, because I don't see, I mean, Justin can crack it. I mean, Justin could, but I don't think so. Kamal, I don't think so. And no disrespect to Kamal, but the show is, these guys are way too much.
Yeah,
These
there's
guys
a lot
are way too much. Oh, no. I mean, at one point, you got to realize,
Yeah.
when you got guys like that, I remember, you got guys like Andrew. I'm telling people, can you imagine Andrew next to Kamal?
Well, I've seen it, and that wasn't even. Yeah, and Andrew, I think he's going to be way better than he was then. You know, now with these guys, and more time just with his physique. I think he's not in years, but as a bodybuilder, he's a young bodybuilder. So I think every show he does, we're going to see the quality coming in more and more, especially with guys like when he's working with Aceto. It's going to be different. Okay, let's go on to Classic Physique. It's a small show as well. There's only 8 guys doing this show. That's a pretty small show, but there's some pretty good talent in this show. One guy who I'm not super familiar with, I do follow him though. Just recently I started following him. The first person on the list from Brazil, Junior Jaworski. Not really familiar with him. Jason Brown.
Yes.
Alex Cambronero.
Yes.
Darwin Uribe. He's very good. Courage Opara.
Yes.
Ramon Dino. Mike Sommerfeld.
Yes.
And Urs Yes. I don't know. I get tongue tied with his last name. Ulysse, the Miracle Bear. This show, I think, is going to be pretty competitive.
You know what's funny? When you take Chris Bumstead out of it, it's competitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
The thing that's not to say there, but yeah. But oh my God. I got Ramen Dino winning. Because you know
Yeah.
what? He was, I mean, it took a Chris Bumstead at a 1000% to really get him out of there because he looked great at the show at the Olympia.
Yeah.
And he looked amazing.
He's another young guy who I think is just going to keep getting better and better.
And he's, you know what? He's a different classic look.
Yeah. He adds that a little bit more of a mesomorphic look with those arms. Again, it's the arms for him that are like,
The arms, we'll see the arms,
it's
the
very
arms.
different.
Yeah.
Ulysse is a great bodybuilder, and he could win this show. I think it's going to be between those two, of course, Ramon and Ulysse. But yeah, the arms of Ramon just added an extra dimension that a lot of the guys in classic don't have, but a lot of guys in the past in what we would consider classic bodybuilding, like Mike Menser,
Yeah.
you know, those forearms.
He's very Menster-like.
Yeah, there's a ruggedness to his physique.
Yeah. Because you see, if you look at Ulysse is more on the wrist side, and Ramon is more of a Menser, but that's a classic.
Yeah.
And he has a really rugged look, hoping that he makes weight this time with no problem. That's the thing, to make weight, because he's getting bigger and bigger and bigger now.
Yeah.
Is to make the weight. But if he makes the weight properly and all that, I see him winning that 50K. 50 or 60, I don't know.
I don't know. It's at least 50. I don't know. I
50.
hope they up it more. These guys deserve they bring a
Yeah.
lot to the show in terms of an audience, I think. Of course, I don't think they will ever, or at least not anytime soon, surpass open bodybuilding, because I think open bodybuilding is always going to be the main event. But,
Yeah, for sure.
But there's a lot of people who love classic physique. I love it too. And I think a lot of what's drawing people to buy the pay-per-views and buy tickets to see the shows now is classic. And I know a lot of people go, oh, it's not classic, it's just CBUM. But I don't know. I personally am interested in guys like, I know there's always a future, right? CBUM isn't the future, he's now, and he can stop anytime he wants to because he's got all the money in the world. But I know he also loves the sport and he's going to continue on. He's said he's not retiring, but there's guys like Ramon and Ulysse and Mike Sommerfeld that are like the future, you know, I like watching them every show, every few months, they make improvements. I think Mike is a guy who can do really well in this show. He's got a different physique as well. Not as pretty maybe as some of them, but I like the look. He's full, pretty Herculean looking. I also think Jason Brown can make a bit of a noise at the show if he comes in the shape that I think he's going to be coming in. He's a taller guy too. I think he can do really well.
But you know what? You know the way you look at it. If you look, we have, like we said, him, Courage Para also. We have 5 or 6 guys with different physiques. Totally one of the other. Very different. All classic, but different. Because Mike Sommerfeld doesn't look like Ramon, doesn't look like Ulysse. Courage doesn't look like these guys. So we have different physiques. And don't forget, Alex Carbonero also. Alex is there.
Yeah, but Alex and Darwin to me are both really nice physiques who I think could be comparable to each other in terms of quality. But I think if I had to pick a top 5 out of this 8, I don't know, it's going to probably be, for me, Ramon, Ulysse, Mike, Alex, and Jason. That's going to be my top 5.
Ramon, let me see. Yeah. And probably,
Courage.
you know what? Courage in there.
Yeah, he's always
In there. He's always there.
yeah.
He's always there. Mike, can I do something? Can I call you back? Because I got my client. I got it for 15 minutes and call you back.
We can wrap this up. We'll just wrap it up real fast.
Okay, no problem. Okay,
That's pretty much it for the classic. Classic, we just did classic and open. And those are the ones I think that most people care about. And I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of people care about other things too. I think fitness is going to be amazing with a really tight competition between Jacqueline and Ariel Kadar.
Ariel Kadar.
They're going to be amazing. Anyway, Greg, thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure.
Everybody, I'm Michael Bryson, Gregory, Ulysse. For This is Bodybuilding, signing out. Take care.
All right, thanks, man. All right, bro. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.